All right, so this is going to be a quick video. I wanted to talk about some of the things that, let me turn this on first, that might help. Some of the things, and I won't be playing any music for you, that you should remember within this thing. And the first thing is, if you open this up and you don't, and you just, let's say you work on a project, you do something and then you just turn it off, you will lose everything you did because it goes back to whatever the last save setting was. So it doesn't auto save. It would be cool if it did auto save, because then you could just turn it off. You wouldn't have to worry about writing every time. But I will say, if you hold down shift and hit this last little button here, it says write. I know it's probably hard to see it, but right below here it says write. If you hit that, it goes this way, excuse me, and it says all, and then you hit enter and it says done. It saves whatever settings, wherever this is at the time. You're not really saving songs in this thing, because it only saves what's on these pads and the steps at the time that you're pressing the save button. Okay, so write on here is save, shift, write, enter, and you save. So that's one thing these are things you have to remember to do, or you need to keep in mind when you're working in this thing. The other one I've mentioned before, if you hit the sample button, now, if this was on, you'd be hearing, you see how this is moving up? You'd be hearing my voice going through this mic, and it's going to blare out. But if you're just sampling something in from here or the USB, you need to hit shift and delete. And what it does is when it's lit like that, then it's muting the microphone. So now you don't see anything moving here while I'm talking because the mic is muted. So that's something to remember. I do wish they had put that in the settings and let you just turn it off if you don't want it on. All right, we're going to exit out of there. Now, once you are on, as long as you don't turn it off, that setting stays. So every time I hit sample, you'll see delete is still there. See? All right, the next one is you want to hit shift menu. Shift menu allows you to adjust the overall volume, a bunch of things. Now, these things I've talked about in the previous video. You got to get used to these little things and what they mean. But one in here that people always overlook or forget, and this is only if you feel like you're not going to use the step sequencer, but you want to count in. There is a count in feature, and it's CNT1, right? CNT1, hit on, and then you can turn off the count in, set it to 2. And these are by the beats, right? They're not bars, they're beats. So in other words, if I wanted to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start recording, it needs to be set to 4. If you set it to 2, it's going to go 1, 2, and then start recording. So figure out what works for you. I usually leave mine on 4, hit the off button. Now, anytime you change a setting in the menu, you want to make sure that you hit shift right all. Going back to that setting, because otherwise it will not lock that in the menu. So again, if you turn it off and you don't hit shift right, you will not save any of those settings you did. And every time you turn it on, you'll have to go in and make those adjustments. So keep those in mind. Set everything up. When you save sounds, same principle. Make sure you save put your sounds in here, whether you record them in. I personally would rather use the app to do them. Sometimes the recording in it gets tedious trying to get the start and end point. But if you just want to explore that workflow, by all means do so. But the app does help. And I say app, but it's actually only on Mac and PC. So you have to use a computer to do it that way. Otherwise, you do it straight through the sampling. But whatever the case may be, just make sure that you go shift and right. If you do not do that and you do all this work of putting your sounds in here, you will not have those sounds the next time you turn it on. So just make sure you shift right. I can't emphasize it enough. All right, that's it for this video. Hope y'all are well. Enjoy, and we're out.